Hey everybody, and welcome to Soulful Conversations with Frank and
Sheila Battle.
we want to start off by first saying Happy New Year.
Yes, we hope everyone had a great holiday season, whatever festive holidays you celebrate during this time of the year, from Thanksgiving through now.
Yeah.
People are still celebrating different holidays. So we just want to say happy holidays and happy new year. It's good to be back behind the microphone.
Behind the microphone in a new year, new decade.
2020, y'all.
Yeah.
What happened to the Jetsons?
I know. I thought we'd be in
Like, we were supposed
like
to have flying cars and
flying cars and
doing all kind of stuff.
robots and stuff right now,
Well, we
but
kind of do have robots, like you can vacuum your floor without touching it.
oh yeah. I don't know if that really works. We don't want that.
I ain't too keen on all of that automation, but some of it is good. Some things we've come a long way.
Long way.
Certainly have come a long
But we
way.
missed everybody, and we're
We
glad
did.
to be back. And
And it was good to be missed.
yeah,
When we are out and about and in the community, you all are not shy about letting us know that you have missed us
yeah.
and wanting to know what's the deal, what's going on, and when is Soulful Conversations coming back on the air. So here we are.
If you are watching on YouTube, you'll notice that Battle Station TV is now Soulful Conversation with Frank and Sheila. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to really focus now to what people call a niche or niche, depends on what part of the country you're from. And so that we can kind of really deal, I guess we'll say what, primarily with, kind of the soulful conversations, relationships, personal,
Love and marriage.
love and marriage and
Yeah,
that
we're
kind
going
of
to keep
stuff.
that theme
So we're
going.
going to keep. So if you have subscribed, which we appreciate each of you, we had a phenomenal January. 70 plus additional subscriptions. We ask that you stick with us. If you don't have a relationship issue or interested in love, just share this with somebody.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
stick with us and don't unsubscribe, but send it to a friend and subscribe. We appreciate you.
And we're going to, I mean, we're talking about, we're keeping the theme of love and marriage,
Right.
but we're still going to have soulful conversations
Oh yeah, about a lot of
some
stuff.
other things,
Yeah.
primarily because we have so many incredible people. And I think that's one of the things that froze us last year.
Yeah.
There were so many options and so many opportunities and so many cool, really dope people that we could have brought to this audience. And it was
Yeah.
just like, how to decide, how do you pick? And so Ariel helped us with that. And we have a content calendar now, and we have a list of guests. And last year we was just having a good time, and when we started it off, we were really having a good time too. And now it's time to just take it to the next level. It's 2020. It's a brand new decade. This is an amazing opportunity for us to service you on this platform.
Yeah.
And so we just want to make sure that we do it well and do it right.
And if you have interest in as far as like the things that community stuff or what's going on at the battle station, we're going to transition that over to our Facebook page, the battle station. So if you haven't liked that page, if you do that, that's where we'll be posting the things that are going on at the battle station, kind of the everyday fun loving stuff. Not to say that this stuff won't be fun either, but again, we're just trying to be a little more focused and kind of take on the advice of Ariel,
Our consultant,
our consultant.
And the reason we're going to keep the battle station page going
Yeah.
on Facebook is because of you.
Yeah.
Like, you guys like hearing about what's happening at the battle station, different projects and things that we're doing, things that are happening with the kids. And so that'll be a quick place for us to dump all of that content while at the same time focusing on growing this YouTube platform. We have opportunities for sponsorship and all of that. And so, because when you start talking about sponsorships and people putting their money behind your name and behind your brand, you can't be all over the place, right?
Right,
So you
right.
kind of got to bring it down and say, okay, our theme is love and marriage. That's what we do. We love couples in whatever stage of coupleness or couplehood you are. And then we love family, anything related to family and strengthening the family. And so, because our potential sponsors and some of the ones that are on the table right now, that's what they focus on. We want to make sure that their dollars count. And
Yes.
so that's why we're doing it that way.
Yep. That
We're not going
is.
to leave you out.
Nope. Nope.
And we thank you for the surge on the Battle Station
Yeah.
page and the
And
Soulful
Soulful
Conversations
Conversation.
page on Facebook. And all of this is a lot of stuff to
Yeah,
manage.
it
And
is.
so if any of y'all know a little college student, high school, somebody who want to handle all of that for us, please and thank you.
You can pad your resume with this wonderful work.
And I'll feed you. Yes, I will.
Speaking of feed,
Here we go, family. Here we go.
so we talked about the time that we had kind of been away and been busy. We've had some changes to happen. And it kind of touches on what we're talking about, kind of our theme today, topic today, which is like health and wellness.
Yeah.
Like during the course of the holiday season, we kind of changed our eating habits.
So there's a way that Mr. Frank tells this story, and there's a way that I tell this story.
Tell your way first. Yours is more comical.
So the way I tell the story is that it was Thanksgiving, and for those of you who follow us here at the Battle Station, you know I cook, and I cook like a crazy person, and then I cook too much. And so I cooked and I prepared all of this food, and it was Thanksgiving, and we ate, we had a good time, we had family over, the kids were all here, Trinity was home, everything was great. Friday, the best day for leftovers, right? So we're eating the leftovers, and my husband's thing, he's a country, well, he claims to be a country boy. I don't really think he's a country boy, but he's from the country.
Wilson, North Carolina.
Wilson, North Carolina is the country. Okay, but that's another show for another day about his accent and how uncountry he is and tries to say that I'm country. But anyway, so so then Saturday comes. And we don't do Black Friday and all of that. So we're still, you take a shower and change pajamas. Like that was basically the plan from Thanksgiving to Sunday. Well, Saturday, after having a fabulous at-home Black Friday, Mr. Frank wakes up and says, "I don't want any more meat."
That's not really how it happened.
That is pretty much what happened. He said, I don't want any more meat. And I still had all of this food. And I said, "Well, what are you going to eat?" And he said, "Oh, well, I'll eat the mac and cheese, and I'll eat the rice, and I'll eat this, and I'll eat
Not
that."
the mac and cheese. The greens.
The greens, right. The vegetables and all that. And I said, "You're really not going to eat any meat?" And he said, "Nope, I think I'm done." Is that not how it happened?
Somewhat like that. I did. I didn't just wake up that way.
It was just a wake up to me. There was no pre-conversation.
Even for me, there wasn't any pre-conversation, any notion or anything like that. I was just standing in the kitchen looking at the food, and I was like, I don't want any turkey. I don't want any ham. I'll just eat the greens and veggies. And I did that all day, and the next day, and the next day.
And so now here we are.
Yeah. And I still haven't eaten any meat.
He still has not eaten any meat.
Dairy,
any meat products,
right?
Which makes you officially vegan,
Plant-based,
not vegetarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not going to get into the whole what's the difference between vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian.
Well, she said
all of that.
She's
I'm claiming pescatarianism.
She said she was Presbyterian
because I like eggs.
Presbyterian.
I'm not. To all of our Presbyterian friends, y'all have heard that joke, and that's not funny. Oh. So we're not talking about y'all because I'm not Presbyterian.
Oh, that's right.
But I like seafood, and I like cheese, and I like eggs. But I have been weaning because of this lifestyle, and because I wanted to support my husband in his journey and not make it hard. The person who is suffering the most in all of this is Zion and our bonus kids, because now I'm not cooking large amounts of all of these other foods. And so
yeah, it just happened.
So since that's a thing, How has that been for you?
It's been good. I do feel better, a lot, really better.
What does that mean, though?
I don't feel in the morning, I still kind of, it's one of those things where, I say I'm not a morning person. I'm really not. But, but it's not so, that's kind of an attitude, I'll be honest. A lot of morning people can attest to that. But there isn't a sluggishness and a drag to get out the bed.
Hmm.
And I'd probably say I'd sleep better too. So,
Would that be the number one thing that you've noticed that you sleep better? Like, what's the
no, the
number
number
one
one
thing?
thing I notice is the getting up in the morning, a little more readiness, alert, focus. Even getting to work, I'm not like running to the coffee, to the Keurig at work like I used to. I used
Okay.
to beeline straight to the Keurig. Gotta have my coffee, get going. I mean, I still go, but it's not like that number one thing when I'm at work. So
Have you lost any weight?
yeah,
Ladies,
I
when he
have
said that he lost 7 pounds, I just want y'all to know I was mad because I've kind of been on this journey with him.
kinda. You have,
I mean, I have.
yeah,
I was still eating eggs though because
yeah.
I really like eggs and I make a mean omelet. And
You really enjoy the shopping.
the shopping is interesting. The grocery stores, I see the change that's happening as
Mm-hmm.
far as plant based products.
Mm-hmm.
So we can probably do a show where we talk about our favorite things that we found
Yeah,
since we've been on this journey.
yeah,
Shout out to Monica Vinoy, who
yeah.
has been on this journey forever.
She's
And
text me tips as well.
yeah, she sends
Things.
tips and tells us things that we can do. But it's really been interesting. I think for me, the biggest thing that I've noticed was that I did have this energy boost. Now, I have not sustained that energy boost, but I can tell, like, I was never really a coffee person, but coffee was a
Yeah,
stimulant for me. Like,
definitely.
I drank coffee to wake up and to get things done. I didn't drink coffee because I enjoyed it or because of whatever. But I didn't need it. Like, I saw that I went a long time and I wasn't going, oh, I should stop and get a cup of coffee so I
Yeah,
can do this 12 hours or
yeah.
whatever. So I think that would be the first thing. I haven't really noticed or sensed weight loss, but I feel like maybe in inches.
Inches.
And on some places on my body, some places have not budged, but we gonna
It takes
we just gonna
time.
keep doing it.
It takes
But I
time.
know that one of the things that I'm not doing that you are doing is my water intake has to increase.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So when whatever kind of changes you're making like that, the water is really, really important.
And we've upped our gym visitations. So that's another thing that helps. Even in the workouts, there is a little more energy with that as well. So that's been good.
It helps if your get up and go kind of kicks in though.
Yeah, it
And I
does.
think that's why the energy thing was a big piece for me.
Yeah, because once you get there, you can flow with it. So it's been in it again. I did not have any. Like everybody was it last year, year before last. Everybody was kind of on this what the health kind of thing. It wasn't so much that it just kind of happened. But what was interesting is we ended up watching the Game Changer
Yes, on Netflix.
after this kind of happened. That was kind of solidifying.
I don't think we were ready to watch the real
Yeah,
in-depth
no,
documentaries where
we
like they
still
show
haven't.
you the things that turn your stomach. We
still
didn't do
haven't.
that, and we still haven't. But Game Changer was definitely an eye opener in the way that there was so much science
Yeah.
behind it, and they
Yeah.
were talking with athletes
Yeah,
who have gone vegan.
yeah,
And so it was just interesting to see how that change has affected their bodies and
Mm-hmm.
strengthened their bodies in ways that eating meat and meat products
yeah,
just
which
didn't.
was very encouraging. And you kind of me, I'm kind of one of those people. I'm like, all right, let's see, let me test it, see if that does that with me. So that's kind of where I was, which was motivation. So we've gone from there. We we laugh because we talked about looking at what the health. We started it when it came out, and we stopped because that was a bit much.
Yeah. I was going to, well, not sneak and watch it, but I was going to watch it by myself. And then I thought to myself, I know enough gross stuff about food from cooking it.
Yeah,
People would come over and they would see me
cleaning chicken.
cleaning chickens and go, what are you doing? Like, and then when I showed them all the stuff that I was pulling off the chicken, and I'm not talking about just the skin, I'm talking about that clear mucus looking gel that's, and cleaning all of that off. And people were going, I've never cleaned the chicken and taken all of this stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and you're eating all of that. So it's just been good. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about, exploring more options because one of the things that we did was like binge watch YouTube recipes.
Oh yeah, but
So we
that's
got some
actually fun.
favorites.
That's actually
Yeah,
fun.
we got some favorites.
And then getting the Instapot for Christmas.
Woo!
That was her gift. It was it was perfect timing. None of that was planned because that thing is wonderful.
That thing is wonderful. The
Bean-
instant pot
Beans,
is not
rice,
stuff.
greens, you name it, inside of the. I'm not gonna sing it.
Please don't sing it.
You name it.
Everybody is sick of that.
No, they're not.
They are.
But
They
the
are.
Instapot, blessings to the person who came.
Whoever
up with
came
that.
up with it. And at the end of the day, it's just a pressure cooker
Just
like that your big mama
that's all
had
it
back
is.
in the day. But it is, and I don't even know that it's new and improved because the technology around it is what it is. But I appreciate the new and modern version of it. And I had no fear about using it. I do remember having a neighbor when we were growing up in Philly, and she blew a hole in her ceiling fooling with a pressure cooker. So, if you've been scarred by a childhood memory, don't be afraid of the Instant Pot. It is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So, one of the things that that we talked about with Ariel was creating this consistency around topics. So, we did that on our own, but we also want to hear from you. So, if this January you have embarked on a lifestyle change, we want to hear
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah, we'd
So
love to
what did
share
you
it.
do? And tell us about it. Tell us how it's going. It's not quite the end of the month yet.
Nope.
And we know that a lot of times people get gym memberships, and by the second week in January, they kind of fall off. And then you can get back on the treadmill because everybody's gone. But if you are on a new journey regarding health and wellness and you're doing great or you need some encouragement, we want to start a soulful conversation even on our platforms and even on this page. So just go ahead and comment below. Let us know what you're doing so we can cheer you on, shout you out, and check in with you to make sure that you stay supported or you feel supported and stay encouraged as you take your health and wellness journey.
And it was what's interesting about this whole shift that we did. When Sheila talks about being supportive, she was very supportive. I mean, she could have just left me out there to go think for myself or figured out what meals to cook,
But that would have meant he was in my kitchen cooking.
which
and
I
y'all
have
know.
been in there,
Yeah.
and I have. It's interesting though that
Yes.
cook a little more, which is interesting. It just kind of happened, because but thank you for supporting. I mean, it kind of coming on a little bit on this side.
I'm getting better every day.
She is.
But I've had seafood, but I haven't had meat. And
That's funny. We're talking, and you said today that you wanted a steak.
yes, so that's what I was going to lead to. And I think that that's important to tell people because even when you're on the journey, it doesn't mean that those cravings
Oh, no.
won't come.
no.
But you just have to manage it instead of letting it manage you, right? So normally
Yeah.
if you like, oh, I just want something sweet, and sweets have never been my thing, but I'm just throwing that out there. If you say I want something sweet, what's the alternative thought that you can have that gives you a little bit of grace, gives you a little bit of time before you just chunk a piece of chocolate cake?
Right.
And so today, literally, I was in the grocery store and I was like, ooh, and we were never big on red meat. Like we never were.
Right.
Maybe like when we first got married. Like that was a big deal for us to have steak on Fridays.
Yeah.
When you struggling, you
Like
just
on
coming
the-
into
on-
things.
on the come up.
Yeah, it was a big deal to get a steak, right?
Payday.
That's payday food. That's payday dinner.
Payday
Is a
dinner.
steak. But today I was in a store and it just like my mouth literally watered. Like I was like, I could eat. And I didn't want a whole steak. I just wanted a piece. I just wanted a bite. And I was in the grocery store and could have bought that, but then said, wait, I'm on this journey. We're doing this together. Our theme is that we want to live. You know, whatever we're doing is it about helping us live and live more abundantly, and not just as a scripture reference, but as a reality in our
Yeah,
lives. And
right.
so I was in the grocery store, could have got the marinade, could have got the steak, could have got the peppers and the onions, and I just didn't. Like I gave myself some grace. I had the thought, but then I stopped and I thought about the journey that we're on, and I thought about how far we've come.
Yeah.
And it's been harder for me probably than it is for him, because Frank is very disciplined. When he says, I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to eat something, he just doesn't. And I say, I'm not going to eat something, and then I think about it.
It's
But
hard.
he makes it look easier. He says it's not really as easy
It's
as I
not.
make it out for him, but he makes it look easy. And I just thought, you know what? I don't want to lose any ground that we've gained from the
Right.
weekend after Thanksgiving until now. So I'm just not going to have it. But I let myself feel and I let myself do all the things except buy it.
Yeah.
And so that's a good life lesson too for anything,
Yeah.
that you can give yourself that moment to go, you know, yeah, I actually want that. Like I'm kind of salivating for that. But
Yeah.
the other thing that we know from all of the reading and the research and watching the videos and everything that we've been doing is that when you have a craving like that, there's a message that that craving is trying to give your body. And so I don't know, I can't script out to you if you're craving sweets, this is what that means. If you're craving meat, this is what that means. But that is some valuable research and some valuable intel that you can look up on your own so that you learn your body. And I think that's the other thing that this journey has done. It has reminded us to pay attention to our bodies
Yeah.
and to really listen and tap in and go, okay, wait, what is this really about? Is it really about eating something, or is it really about something eating me? And then if that's the case, then what do I need to do to make sure that I take good care of myself and
Yeah.
make healthy choices? So that's what this all is about. This is not about weight loss for us. We're in the stampede with our good brother, our friend Alvin folks, but it's not even about all of that for us. This is about a mindset shift. This is
Yeah.
about a
Yeah.
mentality, and this is about really doing that work. And I know we say do the work all the time, and it makes it sound like it's just so hard and like, you know, everything doesn't have to be deep and spooky, but literally we're in a season of life, we're over 40. So we have to think about these things.
Yeah.
We can't just recover. You know, I tell people all the time, I don't feel old. My recovery just isn't the same. So I have to think about, okay, what am I putting in my body? Am I getting enough rest? And if something is on my mind, you know, how am I managing that? How am I taking care
Right.
of that?
And the thing, I mean, I want to say this kind of as a disclaimer. You know, there is therefore no condemnation for those of you who are eating meat. This is not what we're coming at.
No,
We're just only talking about, you know,
our experience.
our experience and our topic, and it's our show. But anyway,
So yeah, that's a good point, babe. So no, there's no condemnation. Like, do
no,
you?
no,
Do
you
you,
know,
sugar?
we just kind of
Please do
made
you.
this shift. You know, it just kind of happened, and
Yeah.
you know, that's kind of where we are. And it's been, and like Sheila, we went to a friend of ours had a surprise birthday party. And we stopped through, and you know the menu. You know, you surprise party. You know, you don't get to pick the menu. So, you know, I'm going through and I'm having to pick string beans and, you know, stuff like green stuff, you know.
Right.
And that's one of the things that you adjust to
Yeah. When you don't have control
when you
over the
don't have,
menu, yeah,
right, you know,
that you
just,
still can make good choices.
and I'm learning to, at my job, we have a cafeteria. And I was joking the chef, the director, the guy that's in charge about a vegan friendly menu. But you know, he looked at me like, "Really, bro?" And so we've adjusted some things, you know, which he's permitted me to have, you know, like things in the morning because you know I haven't eaten eggs, so you know we can take vegetables and put them in a wrap and stuff like that. And so he's mindful of it. So it's been an adjustment though, but it's all good. And you found out we look at places ahead of time and kind of see what options are there for us, and We went to a Mexican restaurant for Trinity's birthday.
Yep.
Had great options.
Had great options. And that's the cool thing about, modern times and technology
Yeah,
now. Like, right, you
yeah,
can look up a menu before you even go to a
yep,
restaurant. And not only can you look it up, you can find out what other people thought was
yeah,
good and
yeah.
what other people are recommending who are living and eating alternatively, whether it be gluten free or vegetarian or vegan or
Yeah.
whatever. So there's lots of information out there. And again, we're not here to condemn
Nope.
anybody. We just want to share our journey and where we've been and what we've been doing, and just want to make sure that we are supporting and encouraging you in your journey, because maybe your thing for 2020 isn't related to food at all.
Right.
Maybe you want to take a class or get a degree or join an association or a group or a club. But we're just here to support and encourage.
Yeah.
That's all. But it
Mhm.
was kind of funny that he just kind of rolled up on me and was like, "We about to be in these vegan streets together. You down?" And yeah, that's kind of
I
that's my
didn't.
story, and I'm sticking to it.
She's sticking to it. But the other thing is, like you were saying about whether it's go back to school or exercise or whatever, as couples, you kind of want to support one another. That's our message. Is basically being there for one another to provide support and doing it together. And this hasn't been, laborious or straining to us. I mean, we try stuff and taste it and be like, oh my God, that is so good,
Yes,
And it's
and
like
we
one
feel
of
full.
yeah, and it's like one of those things we do together. And it's we've been kind of she'll say she'll find a YouTube video and share it with me. It's like, would you eat that? Then she'll make it, and it'll be good.
And it'll be good. And
Okay, y'all have to
oh my
excuse me
goodness, his phone just
because
went off.
Siri all up in my conversation over here.
Why is Siri listening to us?
Siri, shut up.
Oh, that's not nice.
Now back to our regular scheduled program.
That is so funny. That is so funny. But to what you were saying about supporting one another, you were thanking me, but I want to thank you because the last few weeks have had some really exciting things happen for me, and my husband is always right there, always ready to support, always encouraging me to go out there and do all the cool things that are assigned in my hands to do. And so this week,
Even the stuff you don't want to do.
pray for me. So this week,
Father God, we come to you now in the name of Jesus.
don't everybody have that friend? You say, pray for me, and they go, kind Father, in the name of Jesus. They
Gotta
start praying
do it.
right then. That's a good friend.
That's a good
Because they
friend.
stop you from complaining and whining, and they just start praying.
I learned that from a friend of mine, Donnell Randolph. Elder Donnell Randolph, if you say that, man, you pray for me, that brother will go to prayer right there in the spot.
He just bow his head, close his
So
eyes,
you
start
just
praying.
not gonna roll up on him and say, pray for me.
Some of these people, you can't play with them like that.
But anyway, as you were saying,
I was saying thank you for supporting me this week. We had a bucket list item checked off. I had wanted to serve on a state board for a long time, and really didn't tell anybody that was a goal. Didn't tell anybody that I wanted to do it, but through relationships and through getting out there and serving people the way that we do, we developed a relationship that afforded us an opportunity, that afforded me an opportunity. I got to stop talking in the plural sense because I know that's why he's looking at me.
because you did it.
But I was afforded an opportunity to serve for the State Board of Health Professionals.
Yes.
And while board service in Virginia is not an uncommon thing, it is still an honor to be asked, and it is an honor to serve. And so I am grateful, and I am grateful that my husband was standing right there, snapping pictures and grinning as I took my oath to serve on this board. And I'm excited about learning more about this particular part of state government and the advisory piece that they offer to the governor. It's going to be a pretty cool thing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Fun.
And we met some great people
Yes.
just that day. So,
yes, we did.
That's
we
the
did.
other part of it, getting to expand your circle.
Yes.
And meet.
So what else? So we can get out of here. It was
It was something else you said. I'm trying to remember. It'll come back to me at some point
So
in time.
speaking of service, this is a good lead
Oh yeah,
into
it
it's
was
Martin Luther
service.
King
It,
weekend.
it was service. Before you say that, we want to thank each of you, every one of you who saw the coat rack.
Yes, our coat rack.
Yeah, coat
Okay.
rack
Yes, yes,
on
yes.
Third and
And Grace.
Grace. We set up a coat rack for um, our homeless
Friends Without
friends without
Homes.
homes,
Thank you, Kelly Evans.
and we set it out there. We put a few items out: blankets, hats, gloves, and people just started putting it out daily.
Hmm.
Just it's still out there.
It's still out there.
And so, if you're in the Richmond, Virginia area on Third and Grace, in front of
Lucid Living.
Lucid Living, there is a coat rack. You just bring your plastic hanger for blankets, gloves, hats, and just hang it on the coat rack.
Okay, so here's what happened. So we want to shout out Natasha Freeman,
Yeah,
who is the owner of Lucid Living. There's always a story around everything, but
yeah,
we put up a post that said we had the first 10 coats. So the battle station was going to donate the first 10 coats and wanted to know if there was a business who was willing to host the rack in front of their store. And Natasha Freeman, without hesitation, was the first
yes,
person to respond
yes,
to
she
our
was.
request and said, yes, I will absolutely do it. And not only will I do it, I already have the racks.
Yes,
And so our dear friend and brother, Angel Gonzalez, made us a sign.
yeah,
And he's going to be mad that I just said his whole
yep.
government
He's
name.
such an
But that's all
angel.
right. He is an angel. Him and his wife, Karen, we love them so much.
Yes, you
I
deserve
put
it,
out,
bro.
yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
thank you.
We put out a plea and said we just wanted a sign. And the sign simply says, have a coat, leave a coat, need a coat, take a coat. And
Yes,
so that rack is out on Third and Grace. We are super duper grateful to
yeah,
everyone. We've gotten pictures of kids hanging coats on that rack,
yeah,
people coming by, feeling there's a bag hanging on the rack where you can put the gloves and all of that stuff in there. People are coming by there, and as soon as it's full, within a day it
yeah,
is empty again. And so Kelly gave us the phraseology, our friends without homes,
yes,
because when you say the homeless population, there's usually a negative, it's such a negative
right,
connotation to
right.
that. And so if we address them as friends, then we can have a different conversation, a different way
Yeah,
about how we care for those who do not have homes in our community. Richmond is not as cold as some of the places up north, but it does
it
get
gets
cold
cold.
here.
Yeah, like
And
tonight.
so, yes, like tonight,
Yes,
and it even sleeted a little bit
yeah.
here. And we're not complaining because in all of those places where we saw 33 inches of snow and all of that,
Oh yeah.
please keep that way, 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 way up north.
Can
We don't want any of
Canadians
that.
keep it up there, please, Canada?
Please keep that up there. But we want to make sure that we are doing what we can.
Yeah,
And again, we cannot solve the homeless or our friends without homes, that problem in Central Virginia. But what we can
yeah,
do is help. And that was the whole purpose
yeah.
of putting the rack up.
And you can do the same. Just network with somebody, find somebody, and find a corner and go for it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like Sheila referenced the pictures, and then the next day you'll see people continuously bringing stuff. I mean, it's been a few days where there hasn't been anything there, but by the time the sun goes down,
There's something on there,
there's
right?
something on there. And so
So
no
it's been great.
nobody's watching to see who's getting what. We just wanted to do our part, and we thank Natasha for offering
Yeah, for
and
hosting the
for
rack.
hosting the rack.
So awesome.
And then and that kind of goes in when you speak of the MLK Day, which is on Monday. Was it 20th, I think? January 20th, I think. I thought about when you just said it, was the pictures that we've seen. We didn't post them all.
Right.
Some of them they seem to be very private moments for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about all races, creed, and colors,
Yes.
that's what it was. Putting out coats and blankets and people bringing their kids. Man, it
Yeah.
was very touching to see the kids that were putting their little toboggans or stuff
Mm-hmm.
into the bag. So it's a great, just a little thing to do. I mean, it was nothing grandiose, but it was just a little small piece to play as relates to our friends with our homes.
And it didn't cost us anything but some time.
Right.
You know what I mean? It didn't cost us anything but some time and an ask. We
Yeah.
put an ask out there and people did it. People stepped up. And so the greater lesson in all of that is when you offer people an opportunity to be kind,
Yeah.
to be compassionate, they will take it. You know, it's a difference between empathy and compassion, and we're learning about that right now. And compassion, what makes it different from empathy is it causes you to take a skillful action, right? And so the coat rack was a compassionate act. It's empathy to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry that that's happening to you." Compassion is, I'm sorry about that, but I will also take a skillful action
Yeah.
in helping your suffering or alleviating your suffering. And so, again, we're grateful to Natasha Freeman and Lucid
Yeah.
Living, all of her patrons. I literally pulled up one day a couple of weeks ago to drop something off, and someone was coming in to get a massage, and she saw me and she ran back to her car, opened her trunk, took two or three coats out and just hung them up there. She said, "I'm so happy that you guys did this. Now every time I come, I'm going to make sure I bring something. These were from my daughter." And she just shared how telling her daughter, her teenage daughter,
Yeah.
why this was important caused an incredible conversation between the two of them, because they live somewhere where they don't necessarily see that population and they're
Right.
suffering. But she was able to have that conversation with her daughter. And so that was amazing. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, shout out to Natasha Freeman again and Lucid Living for hosting us. And if you are in a city that's not near us, look around. You know, it's MLK weekend. This holiday is significant for the African American community and for our nation at large. It is an opportunity for us to show the world
Yeah.
that we are a compassionate country, that we do have a heart, and that we do want to take skillful action whenever we can to serve.
Right.
You know, there are tons and tons and tons of MLK quotes, but I think one of the most famous ones is around anyone can be great because anyone can serve. And so we hope that during this holiday weekend that you don't just take it as a day off, but that you take it as a day to serve, that you find somewhere, take your kids, plug in, and if you need to know where to go, what to do, contact your municipality, contact your locality. I'm certain that there are a plethora of nonprofit organizations and maybe even for-profit organizations who would love an extra pair of hands to help with some amazing, wonderful service project
Yeah.
right there in your community.
And that service project can, you just don't do it on Monday on the holiday.
Make it a
Just make it
lifestyle.
a lifestyle. That service will be greatly appreciated. And the more of us serving, the more will be served.
There you go. All
So
right. So I think that's the end of this episode.
that's the end, people.
So our ending sponsor for this first broadcast of 2020 is Joe Kai Ken Arts, Crafts, and Swag. And the owner of that incredible business is our beautiful sister, Joe Wineglass, and she is the maker of all of our swag. So
Yeah.
our shirts,
Cups,
our mugs,
mug bugs,
we got
candle holders.
candles. And for those of you who bought the 15 Minutes of Grace baskets, thank you, thank you, thank you,
Oh
thank you, thank
yeah,
you so
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Everything, well, the majority of what was in those baskets that was craft related was made by Joe Wineglass. And so we'll make sure that her information is included.
They're gone, right?
I have a mega basket left. Okay, so here's what happened. Here's what happened. We had baskets, we sold them all. But I had enough stuff, and Joe had made so many incredible things for us that I said, you know what? Let's put it all in one big box and let's decorate it and make it beautiful. So I have one mega box left. If you want to know what's in the mega box, send me a message and I'll let you know and let you know what the price is. But Joe is an incredible artisan. She does
Yes.
an amazing job. She does great work. She is timely and she is not trying to break your bank. She will stay within your budget if at all possible, but don't lowball her because her gift
Don't
is
do it.
definitely making room for her. We want to celebrate her artistry and we want to promote her business. And so, as it relates to sponsorships, if you have a product or service and you would like us to shout you out and you would like to be a sponsor for Soulful Conversations with Frank and Sheila, please just let us know. And we would love to support you.
Yes, we would. So we thank you for listening. Wow, we thank you
We
for your
miss y'all.
patience too. We missed y'all, and we're gonna really work on doing better. We kind of have refocused with this.
We got some
Life's
good instruction
get
that
some good
helped.
instruction. Life is kind of
Settling down.
So it affords us an opportunity now to kind of really, focus on this because we love doing this. We love having these soulful conversations with you.
And we have guests coming.
Yeah, we do. We got.
So you want to make sure that you subscribe and you like and you share, and you comment. Because we're going to have some pretty interesting conversations coming up. We have some spectacular guests that we want to bring on. And the idea is just to help us have an alternative thought. One of the reasons why we remain stuck is because we think the same thing continuously. And these conversations will offer us an opportunity to think about things in a different way.
So if you're interested in sponsorship or have a topic, you can just email us at info@thebattlestation.org. That's info@thebattlestation.org. So again, friends
and family.
Thank you.
We love y'all so much.
Thank you.
Be well.
Thank you. Thank you.
We gotta end
Thank
it.
you.
We gotta end
I want to end it with a thank you.
You keep thanking them.
Thank you. What are you doing over there with the church lady clap?
Well, I thought you was gonna sing thank you.
No, ma'am. So we're out. So you tune in for our next episode coming up real soon. We look forward to hearing from you. You all be blessed, and we will talk to you soon.
Take care and be well, family. Bye-bye.
Bye.